What's up guys, and welcome back. In this video I am going to be going over my top 5 first modifications for any car. Okay, as I said, this is not going to be a vehicle specific top 5 list. Every vehicle is a little bit different and this list may not apply 100% to every single car. But I think this is a good list of the best bang for the buck first modifications before you get into anything very heavy. So that's kind of the way that I'm going with it. And I do have this in order of kind of how I would do it. So you've just gotten your car, you want to be your project car. What do you do first? Number 1, my suggestion, springs and struts. Here's the reason why. Suspension modifications will do 2 things for you. 1, it makes the car look better. Lowering the car a little bit will generally give it a sportier stance, make it look more like something's going on there, like it's a special model, like it's not just every other car that you see on the road. Secondly, it'll make it more responsive. It'll make the suspension work better. It'll make the car more solid so that later when the car is a lot faster, it'll also have control, which is very important. Number 2, along the same lines with increasing responsiveness and safety is looking at the brakes. At the very least, I would suggest if you're getting ready to build a car up to make sure it's got really good high quality pads and rotors on it. But if you can go with a larger brake setup, that's even better for the same reason, because once you're making big power, once your car's fast, it's going to be very important that the car be stable, that it be under control, and that it be safe. And on top of that, if you go with larger brakes, you've got the added aesthetic advantage of having the nicer looking brakes, which are usually visible through the wheels. Number 3, tuning. Now, not just tuning. My suggestion is, once you're to this point, if you're serious about building the car, you invest in some way of ongoing tuning. But specific to automatics, this would be a great upgrade at this point because you've made the car handle better, you've made the car stop better. The next trick is make it shift better, make the transmission handle better. Also, that's going to increase the life of the transmission because putting more pressure on the hard parts instead of the soft parts will make it not wear out so fast. But if you're serious about a build, you're going to need tuning eventually anyway. Getting something that you can continue to tune with, like HP tuners from that point on early, is great and gives you time to learn the software before you're having to really get into seriousness. Number 4, exhaust. And when we talk about exhaust, I mean the whole system, but it's going to be different for each car as to where you should start. I would suggest starting at whatever the most restrictive point is. For a lot of cars, that's the converter or the downpipe, or it could even be the manifolds. It's usually up front, it's usually not in the back. But the other reason I'm suggesting this as a first or an early modification is that once again, you're getting 2 benefits. 1, performance exhaust tends to look a little better. 2, performance exhaust sounds better. Gives the car more of a performance feel, like it's a modified car and not just a stock car. And also, you can gain some power at this point, which once you've done springs and brakes and tuning, you're ready for that. So I think this is about the right time to put that into the mix. And number 5, and I would save this until number 5 because I think it's not as important early on, wheels and tires. Now, that's once again because bang for the buck, you're getting double effect out of this. On the one side, it's going to make your car look more like a modified car, going to let people know that you're doing something with it. But number 2, by the time you're at this point, the car's handling good, it's stopping good, it's tuned, it's got exhaust, so maybe it's picked up a little bit of power. Now you need to start thinking about grip. You need to start thinking about getting more rubber on the ground, and wheels and tires would just be the most logical next thing to do. By this point, once you've done all 5 of those, the car is very stable, very predictable. You've got more suspension and more braking than you probably have engine. So at that point, you're good and ready to get into the meat and potatoes of making the car fast. And as the car gets more and more powerful, it doesn't feel out of control. You're less likely to break things and have other problems or to wreck it. So that's where I generally always start. I know it's tempting to just start with go fast parts and trying to make the car more powerful, but starting with a really good foundation of a car that is very stable, predictable, and reliable is way better in the long run than just throwing power parts at a car that can barely handle a moderately sized turn. So that's my top 5 list of that. Let me know if you think I got some of those wrong, or if you have something else you think should have been on this list down in the comments. Drop me a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so that you catch the next video like this when it comes out. Anything else you want to see me do a top 5 list on, let me know down in the comments also. What's up, guys? It is time for another viewer's ride submission. This time we've got one coming from the user Minnesota Prepper. And this, he did not give me a year on this. I'll just give you the story he gave me because I didn't get much. He said, my boss said I wasn't getting the papers delivered fast enough, so the next day I bought the cheapest GTP on Craigslist. It was 800 bucks, needed brakes and tires at 184,000 miles. Does the job very well. Definitely a pretty rough around the edges car, but I can't imagine a cooler car to be out delivering in all the time. Should do pretty well for that. So if you'd like to have your ride submitted, make sure you send it to salemsubs@gmail.com, and we'll see you in the next video. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.